if I'm a thief and I
Yes.
steal that wristwatch?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with you. It's still me because I'm a thief and I wanted that wristwatch. So I don't get why we now shift the blame on the victim at that point. So.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is JB and today we'll be discussing some of the issues that have been happening in our world, and in my opinion I think it's something that's been going on for the longest time, and that is rape. And with me today I have my friend Oluwadamilola Adeyemi. She's a fashion designer and someone who is passionate about social construct and community referencing. And also I have my friend Adeolu Samuel. He's a loan administrator, he's a computer systems engineer, and a YouTuber like myself. Yes, so I'll leave his the link to his YouTube channel down in the description box below, so you guys can also check him out. Yes, so guys, no means no. This is a phrase that we've heard over and over and over again. There's a general consensus that sometimes when a woman says yes, she actually means to say no. And when a woman says no, what she actually means to say is yes. What would you advise young girls concerning this? In our world today? Damn, this is you.
Well, yes. I've always been someone who, right from a very young age, I've been a little bit decisive about who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is something that needs to be sought from when children are growing up from a very tender age.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be, parents in this situation need to be a bit more attentive to the children in how they relate with them. In understanding that when they tell the kid, this is what you should do and this is what I'm going to do, you follow through. So setting precedence is, I would say, the first thing. So if your parent says, I will do this for you, it's a responsibility for yourself as the parent to show up.
Yeah.
So that when the child is then growing and then they're imbibing all of this ideas and values, exactly.
Yeah.
Then they start to imbibe the same things that they've seen from their parents, which is when I say yes, I mean yes. When I say no, I mean no. And as they continue to grow, they demand the same from their friends, from their peers, and they don't find, if this goes on a large scale, it will not be something that is weird to ask for from your peers or from your friends, that when I say no, I mean no. So I think that's the first thing.
I think it actually makes sense. But these are the precedences that we see, and we are also used to the fact that children see their parents. They do more of what they see their parents do than more of what their parents actually see.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's really a valid point. But what would you say to men that regarding this? Men that are listening to us and are reading about it, what would you say to them regarding this issue?
Yeah, I'll come from the guy's perspective.
Okay.
She spoke of a very valid point, and also from the guy's perspective, I think in the game of trying to catch a lady, ladies
When
play
you mean
that
catch?
game. Yes.
You mean like who?
Yes. The chase, the catch.
Yeah.
Ladies play this game sometimes that they say no, and I think that's where guys get that sense from.
Yeah.
So I think ladies should be more assertive by what they want and play the game in a smarter way than playing yes, no, whatever.
But in this case, I think I would just say that if you see a woman and maybe you are interested in her, you want to maybe, in this case, be sexually active with her, what I would say is, if she says no, even if she doesn't feel like she means it, I think you should just leave her the hell.
Yeah, of course, there is the respect part.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm talking of the background of where guys
got the
in that
notion.
sense.
Yes.
That's what I'm addressing.
Okay.
Actually, I do think, to be frank with you, that when guys start to accept ladies' no, even though she means yes, and you know she means yes, but you tell her, well, you said no, and you keep it moving, then a lot more ladies will learn that when you tell a man no, and then you come back and say, why didn't you push? Why didn't you call me? What?
And to be fair, there are actually women that do this.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys heard of this Anambra story. Like there were 80 new cases of rape.
Oh my god.
Like I saw the news and my mind just went like, what the hell? And I went further to read the what's it called? The write up, and the lady they interviewed, I think she was in the what's it called, social welfare, children welfare or something like that, and she was like that they had like new cases, boom, they had a surge in the rape cases because there were more fathers raping their daughters. Like,
I get goosebumps every time.
Why would any father, why would you give birth to a child and then you think to yourself the next thing is I want to sleep with this child?
It's a psychological issue. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around that also, but that it's sad, and at the same time I think religion contributed to that.
Okay.
And at the same time the mentality of the surrounding.
Okay.
At the same time men that were not properly brought up, they could not control themselves, because I still can't fathom why. There is really no why. There is really no why you would rape your own daughter.
Child, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So I think there is some psychological rewiring that is needed in that society. That's my take on that. Or maybe they should take the fathers to jail first and then counsel them.
Sort it out. What do you think?
Okay, like I said, I'm having goosebumps.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like every time I remember this, it just gives me like, oh my god.
I think culture has a big part, in the sense that we kind of sexualized the female anatomy, and there is a deficiency in the morals of bringing up a boy child. A big deficiency that they haven't been able to bridge the gap between this person is my blood and this person is female. So there is a disconnect, just like Adi said, that there is a psychological requiring that's needed. And I always feel like it starts from the childhood. I think maybe that's why I'm passionate about children. It's before if an idea forms, it has
a foundation or a root somewhere.
Exactly. Maybe these fathers have been abused as kids. That there is something somewhere that's wrong, and it's fundamental, that they haven't been able to bridge, be able to separate seeing this person as someone I'm supposed to protect
rather than abuse and
and then looking at the act itself, like, this person is smaller than you, this person is your blood, like, this came from your loins, you birthed this child, but you cannot see beyond the sexuality
of the child.
This person. So you don't see them as your child, you see them as a person, like a human that's apart from you.
But what would you say to people, or how would you say that you can protect these children from? And this is not just, I'm not saying this just to talk about the male perspective, because guys are also raped by their mothers or by their helps, or how would you say you would protect this child or these children from the people that they're supposed to see as their relatives, the people that they're supposed to trust? If my uncle comes in and my father says, JB, this is your uncle, the first thing that comes to my mind is, this is family.
I can trust him.
And I can trust him. And this is the same person that wants to abuse me. What would you tell parents?
Education.
How would you, enlighten them to know that, okay, this is how you can protect your children from these relatives?
Yeah, I would say awareness, as she said, education. And Awareness is really powerful in the sense that if you know a place is really dangerous at night, for example, in Nigeria, sometimes it's not that walking at night is bad in itself, but you know that path is dangerous at that time, so you don't go to that side at that point. So I think awareness is really important to educate young children, both male and female. I was in a discussion with some friends one day, and they asked me a question, like, can I trust my sister or my brother or my family member with my daughter? I said yes, and at the same time no, because I would educate my child that if this person touches you in this manner, please tell me. I would give an incentive. If you tell me, I will do this for you. Children like incentive. They need to be educated that this is wrong. They need to be sexually educated at a very young age, so that they know that this is wrong. You shouldn't touch me in this way. Once they are aware, then it becomes easier. And I think that parents should do a better job at bringing up their children in a more emotional way, in a way that they are well connected with them. Otherwise, if it's all discipline, the child is not connected. So they're not secure in telling you some things that happens to them.
Taking a cue from what you just said, like you would tell the parents to educate their children more. So as you guys know that we've been having this racism awareness for a couple of weeks, since forever, but we've been pushing hard at it for like a couple of weeks now. And I was watching a video of a YouTuber, and she was saying that people reach out to her and they were like, when are you supposed to tell your children about racism? Like, if you say, for example, you're living in the US, you have to tell your child, when you're walking on the street, you have to walk differently. When you're doing something, you have to do it differently. You can't go out at night because you're black, and all that. And she made a really valid statement, and she said, I'm going to tell my children about racism. I'm going to explain to them that this is the life that we are in, and we hope that at some point it will change and everybody will see us as humans that we are. But I'm not going to call my 2-year-old child and tell my 2-year-old child that because you are black, it is possible that they kill you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like, it is too early to expose such a child to the horrors of life. And in as much as parents, most parents shield their children from these horrors. So when do you think is a good time to talk to children about this, and how do you break the ice? Like, how do you present this to them?
That's a very, very sensitive one. I don't have kids, but I've been around a lot of children, and my mom, of blessed memory, she worked with children. She would always say things like, a child is aware of their environment from age 3.
Okay.
From age 3, they have begun to, they're like a sponge.
Okay.
They start to soak everything. So you don't let them watch TV, but they hear it. You don't let them watch the news, but they're passing or they're playing in the corner while you are watching the news.
Someone else is watching.
Someone else is. So no matter how much it's the desire of every parent to protect the childhood innocence, it's almost inevitable. There isn't a lot that you can do to prevent it. What you can do is guide them.
Or I would say, taking from what you're saying, what you can do is be present.
Be present.
Actually present.
Yes, right.
Actively present.
To explain what they are seeing, so that they can better understand it. So I will give you an example. When I was young, my mom would, no matter how trusted this family member was, whether male, whether female, she always had to be around whenever they're around me. Whenever my uncles, her siblings, my cousins, family friends, whenever they're around, she makes sure that I'm not alone with them. Whenever she notices that I'm alone, she calls me and sends me on an errand. Or she tells me to go to my room. And I was much of a bookworm, so I liked my books anyway. So she was. I used to think she was overbearing.
Yeah. But
Then
she
but
knew what
now,
she was doing.
Now I understand it.
Because the truth is that in every, I'm going to say Nigerian because we are Nigerians,
Yeah.
but in every maybe 10 Nigerian homes, there's a child, at least in 9 of those homes, that has been abused by either an uncle
Yeah.
or a cousin or something. So it makes sense. Like I always say, she's a wise woman. Like you have to be present. You have to be active.
Active.
you
Yeah.
know?
So in terms of when do you break the ice, right?
Mhm.
For the child,
Yeah.
I would say it's not too early to start. The only difference is how you say what you say. So for a 3-year-old, you tell them sit down or
Yeah.
don't touch the electrical connection.
Yeah.
You don't tell them you're going to get electrocuted. You don't use that word. You would say it's going to hurt you.
Or hot.
It hurts, right? But it means the same thing.
Yeah.
When they grow up and they're like 10 years old and they begin to know the meaning of words, then you use more complicated words. So I'm saying it's not too early to start.
Yeah.
There are simple ways that one can research on how to tell kids from a very young age about what's going on in their lives and the society that we find ourselves in. So it's not too early to start. Being, like you said, present, being hawk-eyed. Yes, I think
It's
those
actually
things
really
will happen.
important because
The
right
only
now,
difference.
in the midst of social media and there's so much.
And children.
Yeah.
Say for instance, I had a friend in Estonia here. The child was born in Estonia, but to a black mother and a
Estonian
Caucasian
father, okay.
father. But the father is not in the picture. So the child in the pre-kindergarten, all kids, they played.
Yeah.
When the child moved into a higher class and moved from that region, the parent moved from that region to another, the classmate, the child was about 4 years old. The classmate asked her, "Why do you look like poo?" And she said the girl came home and the mother caught the child scrubbing her skin in the bathroom. She was scrubbing hard. And what are you doing? You're going to hurt yourself. And she's like, "Mommy, why do I look like poo?" So, at age four, she's already aware that I look different because of the lack of education from somebody else that was imbibed into her. And somehow, if that's not checked, she's going to grow up with insecurities about how she looks.
Yeah, and she's going to have inferiority complex.
Exactly. So imagine that progresses, just over things like that, little by little.
I think
that
the
you
mother
don't-
cuts it as
right?
well.
You don't sit down and explain to them, even though they're not able to understand the full spectrum of how it is in the world. Maybe they wouldn't be able to understand the word racism, but they can understand that, okay, some people see you as different because of how you look or your hair. Or then give them small examples that they can relate with. And as they grow, it begins to advance, you begin to expose them to the more complexities of all of these issues. So I would say it's never too early to start.
I think never too early to start, but choose your words carefully, but nailing the going straight to the point. Yeah.
I would also like to add that to what you said, that parents should also creatively engage them. Because I think I watched a video when the pandemic started. A woman was trying to educate her kids on the importance of washing their hands. So she put soap. She put dirty water, and then I think she put soap, and then the dirty were separating. And she said, "You see, now the water is clean." And that was straight message understood.
Yeah.
Now they understood why they should wash their hands.
hands.
So I think being creative and explaining to them works well. Good.
Let's also talk about children that harbor the idea of wanting to, involve in rape.
Yeah.
I know that most of these things, like Dami said, or like we mentioned earlier, that it stems from the foundation. The Bible says that if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? So everything boils down to raising the child, basically. But we still have to talk about these issues, because the thing is that we know that in our society, murder is seen as an abomination, not because it is a greater sin. No, sin is sin, but because some of us or most people see life as sacred, So we see when someone says I committed murder, it's like, what kind of abominable act did you do? You took a life. But why can't we, put that same energy into rape, right? And what do you do to parents? I know that we've kind of touched on it like earlier, but what do you do to parents to help them instill in the children that, I'm never gonna rape anybody?
Well, firstly, I think it cannot be totally eradicated because there will still be some people who are just driven to do what is immoral. But I think it can be greatly reduced. For example, the issue of racism, was it yesterday I was walking and then somebody said, you, a white guy. But then a white lady immediately said, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And that would not have happened before the whole movement of black. She might not have been okay with it, but she wouldn't tell me
anything.
Yes.
But I also think that it would have gone a step further.
Like calling the guy to order.
If the girl had called the guy to order.
Yes. So probably she's still building her confidence.
Yeah, true.
Whatever.
I think she should try.
Yes. Yes. But where I'm going to is that awareness matters and environment matters a lot. Where the child or where the boy grew up, we can't really raise a child perfectly because some were raised wrongly and they turned out to be very good. They made their choices, and some were raised in the right way and they still, yes. But I think there is something the society can do and to make people know that the psychological effect of rape on the victims is almost as bad as losing someone.
Life.
It's really bad. So and help them understand that if it was their sister or their family member, how would they feel about it? Help them understand that it's not about the clothes that the lady or the guy is wearing, but it's about what's the impact of what you're doing on this.
So most times in Africa, we realize that some of these rape victims are blamed for the rape. You hear things like, what was she wearing? Where was she? Was it at night? Why did she stay at home? Where did she spend the night? And stuff like that. What do you think of people like this and their thought process? Do you think they're just ignorant? Or what do you think is happening?
This is expression. There is no excuse whatsoever. It is never the fault of the victim. You cannot ask the victim to take responsibility for the control of the rapist. You cannot even control anything outside of your own body. In fact, there's a limited number of things that you yourself have control over yourself, and then you ask somebody else to be responsible for another person's actions. No, the fault of rape is always the rapist.
I mean, what's it called? We know, the Muslims that wear the hijab, they still get raped. I mean, they're not wearing anything tight, they're not wearing anything revealing, but yet they still get raped.
Just to create another picture, I think like every immoral act cannot be blamed on the victim. For example, because you're wearing an expensive wristwatch, doesn't put the blame on you if I'm a thief. And I steal that wristwatch. It has nothing to do with you. It's still me because I'm a thief and I wanted that wristwatch. So I don't get why we now shift the blame on the victim at that point. So
one thing I would like to really understand actually, why it's easy for people to just, why did he do that? What were you wearing? Where did you go? Or what did you do? Say for instance, a husband cannot rape his wife. Those very dicey situations, and then he'd be like, he owns you and it's your property.
I think we're even still going to get to that because this issue that we just talked about, it has made some people believe some myth and facts about rape. And I actually want us to, talk about them and debunk those myths.
Something. Sorry to interrupt you. Something I heard. I heard a story recently, and somewhere in my head, as I heard it, it was a rape story of someone that I know, and my subconscious was like, what happened?
Okay.
And right there in the split second, I told myself, Dami, never ask why. Or never direct the question to the victim. Like, don't ask the victim why.
What happened?
The question why
Should be to
the rapist.
Why did you do
So that in itself, me putting myself under check, not to ever ask the victim why. Rather, how can I help? So I think it starts with us.
I think it's basically the society. It's what society has fed us with. To say
it's easy.
What did she wear?
It's easy for us to just quickly say what did the person do, because
true.
it prevents us from looking inwards. It prevents us from work on ourselves and being objective. It's easy for us to see the negative, like.
I mean, if you look at it in the olden days, there was some points where our mothers were wearing this nice rape was not as rampant as
maybe it was, but people just didn't talk because the thing is that even I, as a child, knowing like when you speak to some people and you're like, oh my god, you were raped, oh my god, you were raped, oh my god, people. I think now the fact that we have social media has given us the a bit of leeway to be able to come out and bear our truth, to be honest. And some of the facts and the myth that I feel that people have believed is the fact that you can spot a rapist.
No. When I wish though.
Yeah, when I wish, I was like, really, you can spot, because I feel that they are even more normal. They look more normal than we that are not rapists. Like you see them and like, oh, this guy or this lady is so cool. Just like psychopath. When you see them, you don't immediately see their psychopathic tendencies. You just say, oh, this guy is a fine man or this lady is a beautiful, not knowing that, there's more to it. So no guys, you can't spot a rapist. You can't spot a rapist. Please don't believe me.
But what would then be the signs to look out for? Like, I'm single and this guy, he seems nice, he's eloquent, he dresses nice, and he shows an interest in me. But he has a sinister agenda, or like they like to claim, uncontrollable urges. What as a person who is ignorant of that person's tendencies, what can you do? What do you look out for? What are the red flags? Because this is something that we have to talk about also. Because as much as we ask people not to blame the victim, like where did they go, what did they do? Some way, we are human, and like you said earlier, that there are some places that it's dangerous, you shouldn't go there. You know that if you do some certain things, it could be misconstrued and could expose you to some, unwanted things. So, as much as we say that it's not the fault of the victim, what can we do, or what can a person do, or what would be
to
the
like
red
have an
flags?
idea? This person is.
I gotta run.
I while you were talking, I was thinking, I would like to think that first thing is to look out for respect. Does this person respect
me?
Yes. Do they respect when I say no, or do they want to force me to do? Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be rape. Sorry to cut you.
Exactly. Yes.
Any
it doesn't
decision,
have to,
basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
Once you start seeing some selfish tendencies, I think if I was a female or
a male,
what I would do is, if I'm going to visit that person, we have technology now. I turn on my Google Maps. I tell my friend, if I'm not back by this time, this is where I am. Call me, or I take someone along with me. make sure that there is backup, make sure we're in a place where I can shout.
Yeah.
But I have to see signs first. And when I see signs, even if it's just a little, I think sometimes people just ignore these little red flags and they're like, it's not that bad, he's still a good guy. But I think with awareness, we should, even if we see just a dot,
A little one, yeah.
start creating your backup plan just in case.
Yeah.
It's not as if you're being cynical.
Paranoid.
But you're being
You're
very
being careful.
Yes.
But
And
I
I'd like
think-
to add that you should talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. I noticed this and it's bothered me.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what's your take on this.
Is.
Then now we know.
Exactly.
So we don't.
In fact, you don't even have to say I noticed anything. You listen to the news, you watch things, share with them. You see something on the news,
And hear their
share with them.
responses.
What do you think? What do you think? See this story that happened to this person. What are your
And
thoughts
the
about
guy
that?
just goes, maybe the lady wore short skirt. Like, oh my god.
There you go.
So guys, I think we should stop here because I don't want this video to be too long. And guys, you can catch the concluding part of this discussion next week. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Join our family. And let's continue discussion in the comment section below. Let me have your thoughts. If you know any rape victim, even if you don't know any rape victim, please try your possible best to reach out to foundations that you know that help rape victims, the community. Nothing is too small, no matter how small you how much you have. It doesn't really matter. Please just try to reach out to these people and support the community as a whole. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us. I'll see you in my next video, and until next time, Jesus loves you. Bye.